Let's do halakha. You ready for halakha? Here's a question from Sefer Yechave Daat, the 6th book from Hakam Ovadia Yosef Alav Shalom, Siman 7. I'm going to have to skip some of these parts because it's kind of not a short halakha, so I might skip a little bit. The question is this: Hayim Lashaim Lomar Yud Gimel Midot Unefilat Apayim B'Minha Le'Achat Shekiyat HaHama Shu Zeman Ben Hashem Ashdod. Are you allowed to say the Vaya'abod Amonai El Rahom Hanun? Are you allowed to say it by minha after the sun sets? So let's say we're praying minha, maybe we didn't have minha and we're waiting around a little bit, and now it's sunset, and we want to say Anna. Are you allowed to do it after the sun sets? Katav Rav Sant Shalom Gaon B'Tshuvat Shuvah B'Shlemuta B'Shut Maharam Merutenberg. The Maharam Merutenberg brings one of the Geonim. The period of the Geonim, it goes back long time ago, the period of the Geonim, and this is from Rav Sant Shalom Gaon. And he writes the following: You asked me, says the Shalom Gaon. He says, you asked me, are you allowed to say Anna by arbit? Forget minha. Someone asked him, can I say Anna by arbit? He said, you should know. On weekdays, no problem. Says Rav Shalom Gaon, you can say Anna during arbit. Enjoy. Yeah. Even with the minyan and shul, you can say Anna by arbit. And this is the minhag in the house of R Max Nesser in Babel. They actually say Anna with vayavod and niflat apayim and arbit. Chutz me Erev Shabbat, except for Erev Shabbat, obviously. Friday you're not going to do it. So Rav Shalom Gaon writes, and the Maharam Merutenberg quotes him, forget minha. Even arbit, you could say Anna and vayavod if you want to. Rav Amram Gaon agrees with this as well. And if you look at the Trud, he quotes this opinion as well. And the Sefer Manhig. The Sefer Manhig brings the words of Rav Shalom Gaon, and he finishes, he summarizes, it's not the custom to say now, Tahanun Ana by arbit. We actually rather say it by minha, because minha is a very opportune time to pray, because Eliyahu and Navi was answered close to minha. It says in the Navi, and you have to say Anna by minha. But with Sefer HaEshkol, and the Sefer HaEshkol, he writes, someone wants to say Anna with Tahanun and Niflat Apayim, the whole deal, during arbit. Shapir Damin Asokin. It's good to do it. Go ahead. No problem. Why don't we do it? Mishum Shetifilat Arbit Atzma Reshuti. Because anyway, the arbit is reshut. It's not an obligation as much as Shachrit Minha to pray arbit. Therefore, the rabbis didn't bother us to do Tahanun because anyway, it was pushing it to make us pray arbit anyway. It's Mahokat Nengemanaf. Arbit is an obligation or it's a reshut. And it's not Hoba, but we still do it. And so once they were making us pray arbit, they said, don't make them do Anna also. So it sounds from here that we really should be doing Anna during arbit. No, in addition. Yeah, in addition. Yeah. Listen, if you do, thank you so much. God bless you. You need coffee? Thank you. You do Kriyat Shema Shalamita, you say Anna Ashanu Baganu at the nighttime before bedtime. Okay. Should. That's what this opinion is of the Geonim, but we don't make people do it. If you look at the Sidud of Rab Sa'adia Gaon, he says to do it. He says She'en Hechreach Benifat Apayim Ahad Tiflat Halayla. You can do it. Tahanun and Anna and Vayabot after arbit, and even during nighttime. A lot of people do it, and hezek b'davar says Amram Gaon. It doesn't damage, and hezek. It doesn't damage you if you do it. These are the geonim. This is heavy hitters. The Geonim go back a long period. High Gaon, Shalom Gaon. These are the Geonim. The Sefer Shivulei Leket, he brings the word of Rav Sa'ad Shalom Gaon, who said that you could do it at night. V'siyam, and he summarizes, V'gaon aher, but a different Gaon katav she'en nefilat apayim b'tiflat arbit kalal, that you shouldn't do arbit, you shouldn't do anna during arbit. V'chach minhag pashut b'Yisrael, and that's the minhag of Bnei Yisrael, not to do anna during arbit. V'zul Lashon Rambam. Look what the Rambam writes. The Rambam writes as follows in Halachot Tefillah, chapter 5. Minhag pashut bechol Israel. It is a widespread custom amongst the Jews. She'en nefilat apayim b'shabbatot u'mu'adim, that we don't say anna on Shabbat or holidays. Ve'lo b'tfilat arbit shebechol yom, and not on arbit of every day. Ve'yesh yichidim, says the Rambam, there are some people she'noflim apenehim be'arbit, that say anna during arbit. Rambam even puts it in his book. He could have left it out completely. He didn't leave it out. He says, there are those who say arbit. They say anna during arbit with vayavor. So the question we have is, can you say it after sunset during minha? Just forget about minha. According to many people, you can say it during arbit if you want to. It's not going to hurt. It's understood from all these poskim that it's not asur to say anna and the David and Vayabur at night. It seems from these sefarim also, if your minha drew out or was delayed into Vaday night, forget Shekiah, Seta Kochavim, it's pitch black, 3 stars out and everything, you should still say Vayabur and Fatapayim according to these poskim. Kivan shetiflat minha hoba, because minha is the obligation, and so you have to say ana with it. These are all these poskim would hold this. However, Maran Bet Yosef, he hevi b'shem Rabbi Hagadol Mahari Abuhab. He brings in the name of Mahari Abuhab, who writes in the same names of the Sefer Sirorot. And there's a question: who wrote it? Student of the Rashba. She'en nefilat apayim b'layla, that you should not say vayabod and leDavid at nighttime. She'ken mikubal hachamim, because it's accepted to the rabbis. Ki nefilat apayim b'nemez l'midat halayla. When we fall on our face with leDavid, it's a nighttime type of a thing. What does he say? Ve'en oflim apenehem, and we don't do ana. You're cutting out the plants, which is a Kabbalistic term. You're damaging, says Maran Bet Yosef. But Silihot time, for example, you could pray 4 o'clock Silihot, 2 o'clock in the morning Silihot with Vayabod. And so it's not about being dark, says Maran Bet Yosef. You can say Anna and Vayabod and all this when it's close to the daytime. When it's nighttime, that's close to the daytime. Like, for example, 4 o'clock in the morning. And agreeing with this is the Rav Rikanti and the Beit Hadash, the Bach writes, Shekina min Hagdiz, the custom, and it's a Kabbalistic thing. Maran Shulchan Aruch, what does he write in the Shulchan Aruch? Is this what I just read to you in Bet Yosef? What does he write in Shulchan Aruch? Siman 131. He says, En nifilat apayim balayla. You don't do ana nifilat apayim leDavid be'abot at nighttime. But in the mornings which are dark, you can do it because it's already close to daytime, even though it's dark. So we see from here, it's a mahloket. Ben HaGeonim ve'amikubalim. The Geonim hold, no problem. You could even do it at night. Albit. And the Mikubalim, which is Maran Bet Yosef, is taking the Mikubalim side. Mikubalim say, no, you shouldn't do it during nighttime. But if it's a nighttime that's close to day, like 4 o'clock in the morning, for example, you can do it. Maran Zal, lo evi klal daat haGeonim ve'aposkim shesovrim she'en la'akbil lakach. Maran Shulchan Aruch doesn't mention, like the Rambam, that some people say ana at night. And he's strict like the Mikubalim that you should not do it at night. Well, the Fizi, according to this, it seems if minha drew out or is delayed all the way until the nighttime, which is like set, not shikia, set, dark, absolute dark. And no flim upon him, but you should not do vayabod during the nighttime, according to Maran, who is gonna go with the mikubalim on this. And agreeing with this is the Magen Avraham. V'chen pashatim manhag, and that's the custom. ובאמת שחבר כתב רב נטרונאי גאון שנפלת אפיים רשות. Anyway, it's a mahloket whether you have to say anna anyway. Is anna optional or is anna obligation? And some people hold to the shoot, and so therefore, why take any chances? And the Kuvalim say don't do it. Other people say you don't have to do it anyway, so just don't do it at all if it's pitch black nighttime. That's talking about absolute dark. We're not talking about shikia now. We're talking about dark. Says Acham Vadia, in any event, it seems after sunset, which is ben hashemashot, the time between sunset and set, shu safek yom safek laila, which is a middle period. It's a safek. We're not sure if it's daytime or if it's nighttime. Acham holds us 13 and a half minutes. We're not sure exactly where it is. It's safek yom. This is a period right after sunset. For sure, you're allowed to say vayabod and nefat in this period. It's even a suffix sveka, says Acham. What's the suffix sveka? It's a double suffix. Anytime you have a suffix sveka, you can be lenient. What is a double suffix? Number one, shema halacha k'divrei hageonim ha'poskim hasovrim shel hashayim l'man nefat apayim gam balayla. Maybe the halacha follows the geonim, Rav Saadia Gaon, Rav Sad Shalom Gaon, that you can say Ana and Vayabod in pitch black if you want to. There was no problem saying it at night. Maybe the halakha follows them. If you want to say the halakha is not like them, and it follows the mikubalim, like Banat Shulchan Aruch, no, you should not say it at night. Maybe it is daytime. We don't know if it's daytime or nighttime. So maybe if it's nighttime, there are geonim hold you can say it at night. If it's the geonim are wrong and you can't say it at night, maybe it's daytime. And so therefore, either way you win. Hacham is going to add a third one also. I'm not sure if I'll read it because it's a little long. That's a third safek as well. Because don't forget, Rabbeinu Tam. Rabbeinu Tam holds everything is later. That's why Shabbat ends later and Shabbat starts later. According to Rabbeinu Tam, it's not Ben Hashem Hashot. According to Rabbeinu Tam, it's daytime, period. So if a three-way safek to make you have no problem to say Vayabod in this period of time after sunset. I'm not sure I'm going to read all this. You can do the rest yourself, I think. It's Siman Zayin. He talks about, he brings the Ben Ish Hai, says the same thing, that you can do it during the few minutes after sunset. And a lot of poskim, Haim Palaji, they say, no problem, you can do Vayabod after sunset. I'm going to skip the rest of this because it's just too much to read now. You can do it yourself. I'm going to go to the summary. What comes out of all this? You are allowed to say this whole set of Ana and Tahanun after in the period of the Ben Hashem Hashot, which is 13 and a half minutes. Which is 13 and a half minutes. After sunset. There is no reason to be strict and say, you can't do Vayabon now because Shikiyah. No problem at all. Hacham David, who's the current chief rabbi, in Halakha Be'una, he says, Mutar lomad nefilat apayim. You are allowed to say LeDavid u'shlosh midot rahamim and vayavod ben Hashem Hashot in the time after sunset to safek yom safek laila, which is not sure it's day or night. Therefore, in nimshecha tefilat minha kama dakot achat sheyat dahama, if minha takes some time after the sunset, rashayim lomad shlosh midot, you're allowed to say it. The vayavod and LeDavid koshu b'toch 13 dakot v'chetzi achat sheyat dahama, as long as you're within 13 and a half minutes from sunset. Notice here, no one. So 1 second. Notice here, no one says the word b'di'avad. No one. Did you hear the word? Did you hear one time? It's b'di'avad. No one says b'di'avad. It's allowed again according to the Geonim, 100% allowed even during the nighttime, and even according if the Geonim are wrong, maybe it's daytime, and even if it's Ben Hashem Hashot, maybe it's not even Ben Hashem Hashot, maybe it's Rabbeinu Tam Yom Laila. Nothing about b'di'avad. It's 100% fine, no problem at all. Now, why do we do it here? Honestly, I can tell you my reason. I know Rabbi Dado does the same thing. The Syrians, we don't do it LeDavid ever during minha, ever. I never did it during minha. How about you? No. So and Anna Anashamnu Baganu Vayavod. That's it. Yishem. No, no let David ever. Yeah. So if we're running late, a lot of times we just don't do we do the Vayavod. Or in fact, we don't do it because anyway, it's not our custom to do, and it's running late. Both rabbis. It was either of us don't say it, and it's running late, so we just cut it out. But Vayavod, no problem. So a lot of times people give me pressure. And they say, it's laid out. I said, relax, it's gonna be fine. There's no problem, no problem saying Vayabon at nighttime, at Benashim Ashot, and even no problem at all. We can relax. Nobody has to scream at anybody. Have a nice day, everybody. Hazak v'yamas.